Hey everybody, welcome back to the Lightside Music Reactions. I've got a new camera and I am testing it out today. This is my first time recording with the new device. So the format may look a little bit different. I'm not sure. This is a test. So we'll see, I guess, when it's done and uploaded how it looks. Anyway, today we're reacting to a song by Tom MacDonald. And for those of you that aren't familiar, Tom MacDonald is a Canadian rapper, singer and songwriter, and a record producer, and he's known for his so-called right-wing lyrics and fan base. And his music has been characterized as MAGA rap, and so obviously that's associated with President Trump, and I guess he's a big fan of President Trump. So he first rose to prominence with the release of his 2017 debut single, Dear Rappers. I have not heard that song, don't know anything about it. His 2021 single, Fake Woke, marked his first appearance on the Billboard Hot 100. I'm not familiar with that song either. His 2024 single, Facts, featuring Ben Shapiro, debuted and peaked at number 16 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 42 on the Canadian Hot 100. I am familiar with that song. I don't know if I've heard the whole thing, but I've seen clips of it on Ben Shapiro's channel on YouTube. Where Ben actually made an appearance on that. For those of you that aren't familiar, Ben Shapiro is a political commentator. He's the head of the Daily Wire, which is a media outlet. And he's very musical. There's a video online of him when he's young playing the violin, and it's just amazing. He's very talented. And so he's one of these straight-laced type people that, you know, you picture wearing a suit and tie sort of thing, and real straight-laced. And to imagine him in a rap type video, rapping, it's like two different cultures clashing. And so it was really unexpected to see something like that. But anyway, this is, we're reacting to today, Tom's new song, Freedom Ain't Free. And he released that just in time for Memorial Day weekend. And if you go to his channel, there's a link in the description. And he's having the 4th annual Hog Memorial Day Blowout and fundraiser. And if you use the code on that page, at least right now, by the time I upload this, it may be expired. But if you use that code, you get 20% off. And every penny raised from this charity, he says, will go to U.S. vets. So that's awesome that, you know, he's supporting American veterans and stuff. Through his music. There's a video I just uploaded. I'll probably upload it before this one. So by the time you see this, you've probably already seen it. But a reaction to the song Sam Stone by John Prine. And in that video, I have links to a bunch of resources for American veterans that are going through difficult times, whatever they may be. And that was inspired by the lyrics of that song. So if you want to check that out, I'll put a link in that to that in the description as well. But anyway, if you need any of these resources, you're a veteran and you're having tough times, if you're homeless, if you're struggling financially, if you're struggling emotionally and just need some support, check out some of those resources. And there are resources out there for you. Anyway, let's go ahead and check this out. This is Tom MacDonald, his new song, Freedom Ain't Free.
It's a time to remember the ones who we lost. Fathers and sons, the mothers and daughters who went overseas and fought so we could be free. Believe it or not, they dying for peace, they dying for speech. They died in the streets of the Middle East. They left the family at home and picked up a gun and stormed the beach. I see a problem.
World War II.
The fallen. Nobody works on Monday.
Forgotten the fallen.
Pop bottles while there's soldiers in the dirt and they all got families who are hurting. The cost of freedom is a person. They died so we ain't speaking German. So eat your burgers and drink your beers. Relax, enjoy your day. There were funerals and a million tears so we could live our lives this way. There were widowed wives and the children's eyes who won't see their dads again. It's a holiday for the fallen. Don't say Happy Memorial Day. Cause the freedom ain't free. Things got a cost. They paid for today with the lives we lost. So don't comply. Stand your ground. They sacrificed it all and we gotta make them proud. Cause the freedom ain't free. What's up, guys? The 4th annual Hangover Gang Memorial Day Blowout and fundraiser is going down right now.
That's what I was just telling you about.
We got autographed flags, autographed bandanas,
HangoverGang.com.
tons of new gear. the code MEMORIALHOG for 20% off everything. And we've also got a couple special Memorial Day designs for charity. Every single penny from the charity shirts will be donated to U.S. veterans. Over the past 3 years, Hangover Gang has donated over $350,000 to veterans of the United States. And I'm really hoping we can push that number past $500,000 this year. So head over to hangovergang.com, get your autograph stuff, get your new shirts, get your albums, get your charity shirts, get whatever you want, and let's do our best to give back to the people that have given us so much, because America's the greatest country on earth, and if it weren't for the brave men and women who died protecting it, we'd be living in a very different world. So the Hangover Gang 4th annual Memorial Day blowout and fundraiser is going down right now. It ends Sunday at midnight. Head over to hangovergang.com, get your gear.
Yeah, by the time I upload this, it's going to be too late, so I'm sorry, guys, you missed out on it. But anyway, it's Memorial Day now. Actually, this is Sunday right now. Tomorrow's Memorial Day. So this actually expires the day before Memorial Day. But, yeah, I'm going to definitely go check that out. It'll be too late for you guys if you haven't done it already. But, you know, any opportunity I have to support the veterans, I'm going to go ahead and check it out. That was a very short song. It was just a verse and a chorus. Very simply written. It's just a rap line. It's almost like a freestyle sort of thing, the way it's written. So this isn't going to be like a top 40 sort of thing, like some of his other songs. I've heard 2 or 3 of his songs before, and they're usually full length. And you've got the standard format of verse, chorus, maybe a bridge, and then another repeat of the chorus sort of thing. But this is just a verse and a chorus. It's a promotional thing, obviously, that he's doing to support Veterans Day and to support the veterans, or not veterans, Memorial Day, and to support the veterans. But let's go ahead and take a look at the lyrics here. It's a time to remember the ones who we lost, the fathers and the sons, the mothers and daughters. And that's true. Even going back to the Civil War, you had heroes that were female. This morning in church, I shared some examples that I found online of some of the stories. Going back, I didn't go all the way back to the Civil War, but I started around the late 1800s and moved up to the current days like Afghanistan and Iraq, that sort of thing. But some stories of some heroic actions done by soldiers that some of them laid down their lives, and some actually survived, but, you know, put their lives on the line. And like the old Billy Ray Cyrus song says, all gave some, but some gave all. And so that's one thing I reminded him this morning in church, is that we often confuse Veterans Day and Memorial Day. And he says that in here, don't say Happy Memorial Day, because it's to remember the fallen. And it's nothing happy about it. That's true. We often mix up Memorial Day and Veterans Day and use Memorial Day as an occasion to thank the veterans and that sort of thing. I did that in my message this morning, thank the veterans, because I think it's important to thank the veterans regardless of the time, the date. Even though today is specifically for those that are fallen, for remembering them, the ones that actually laid down their lives, I think it's important to honor the veterans that we have today as well, that survived. And so I took the time to do that, while putting the emphasis on their comrades who did fall in battle or as a result thereof. But there was a female lighthouse keeper back in the 1800s that risked her life in the war to save people from a squall, and ended up becoming recognized by she was part of the group that eventually became the Coast Guard, but it wasn't called that back then. And then the one I finished up with was a more modern one. Was a female soldier that wasn't supposed to be in combat, but when her troop was ambushed, she jumped into action, and she and one other soldier, her and the male, ended up saving their platoon. And so it's just an amazing story. So it's not just the males, but it's also females that laid down their lives, even the ones that shouldn't have been in combat. And so it's time to remember the ones who we lost, the fathers and the sons, the mothers and daughters who went overseas and fought so we could be free. Believe it or not, they dying for peace. They dying for speech. They died in the streets in the Middle East. They left the family at home and picked up a gun and stormed a beach. And, of course, that's a reference to Normandy, World War II. Basically, if you ever seen, I keep referencing this movie, but Saving Private Ryan, it's the opening scene in Saving Private Ryan. You've got the opening scene where it's in present time, and the veteran is going to the cemetery, and then he flashes back to that first battle scene. That vivid battle scene that you see there, that was directed by Steven Spielberg so beautifully, and so just so graphically, was taken directly from the Battle of Normandy. And so that's what he's referencing here, where they stormed the beach. I see a problem: we've forgotten the fallen. Nobody works on Monday, so we celebrate in pop bottles while there's soldiers in the dirt, and they all got families who are hurting. And so, we forget the true meaning of these patriotic holidays, especially Memorial Day. I went out with my family and we put flowers on the graves, not just of soldiers and veterans, but of our friends and family and loved ones that have gone on that had nothing to do with the military. And that's not what Memorial Day is really about. I'll go ahead and read to you a little bit of what I shared this morning in church about Memorial Day. It originated as Decoration Day in memory of the Civil War, which, according to History.com, claimed more lives than any conflict in U.S. history, leading to the establishment of the country's first national cemeteries. And it was marked by decorating the graves of those soldiers with flowers and reciting prayers. And so it's evolved over time to what it is today, but that's what it's really meant to be. It's about the veterans that didn't make it back home. On May 5th, 1868, General John A. Logan called for it to be a national day of remembrance. He said, quote, "The 30th of May, 1868, that's when he said this, is designated for the purpose of strewing with flowers or otherwise decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country during the late rebellion, which was the Civil War, and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet churchyard in the land." And after World War I, the holiday evolved to commemorate American military personnel who died in all wars, including World War II, Vietnam, the Korean War, Iraq, Afghanistan, etc. In 1968, Congress passed the Uniform Monday Holiday Act, establishing Memorial Day as the last Monday in May, effective in 1971, when it officially became a federal holiday. And so, like he said, freedom ain't free. It comes with a price. And a lot of these people actually laid down their lives. Their lives were the price that they offered up and was paid for our freedom. Elmer Davis said, "This nation will remain the land of the free only so long as it is the home of the brave." John F. Kennedy, the President of the United States, marked this day saying, quote, "As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter the words, but to live by them." Once again, I'm reminded of that final scene in Saving Private Ryan, where the captain tells him, "Earn this. The sacrifice that's being paid for you, earn it." And Steven Spielberg was quoted as saying that wasn't just a message for him, that's the message of the movie for us. When you watch that movie, that's the message he wanted us to come away with, is that they paid a price for us, and we need to earn that. We can't, obviously, but we can do our best to do what we can. I talked this morning about how I will never be able to do some of the great things that some of our heroes have done. And, I'm just a simple country guy from the backwoods of Ohio. And, I'll never be this great orator or, somebody that's going to have influence on people all over the world that, someday people's going to say, when you ask them, who are your heroes? We think of George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson. You think of all the patriots of the past and even some of the present day. I don't picture myself ever being anybody like that, but I can make a difference in my community where I am, doing what I can with what I've been given. And so those of you out there that think that you can't do anything really big, you can't really do anything to earn the sacrifice that they paid for you, there are ways that we can all do our part to not necessarily earn what they have done for us to earn our freedom, but to honor the sacrifice that they made. And so that we are recognizing the price that they paid for us that we could never repay. And so we do our best to honor them and to live up to the sacrifice that they paid. President Ronald Reagan said, "And if words cannot repay the debt we owe these men, surely with our actions we must strive to keep faith with them and with the vision that led them to battle and to final sacrifice." That's basically it. It's he nailed it on the head. Freedom ain't free, and we need to remember the sacrifice that they made and do our best to honor it. And it's not about the as he says in the song here, the celebrating with pop bottles. And you think of there's another song I reacted to for Veterans Day, the ones that didn't make it back home. Talked about coming home to Memorial Day weekend with grandma's apple pie and homemade recipe and all that kind of stuff. You know, the way we celebrate these holidays with a barbecue and that sort of thing. And it is a good time. You know, we've got a time off from work. It's a good time to spend with family and to be able to do those sorts of things. But at the same time, we must remember the true meaning of the holiday and honor those that purchased our freedom for us. While there's soldiers in the dirt and they all got families who are hurting, the cost of freedom is a person. They died so we ain't speaking German. So eat your burgers and drink your beers, relax, enjoy your day. There were funerals and a million tears so we could live our lives this way. So true. There were widowed wives and children's eyes who won't see their dads again. It's a holiday for the fallen. Don't say Happy Memorial Day. And then he moves to the chorus where he actually sings. Because freedom ain't free. Things got a cost. They paid for today with the lives we lost. So don't comply. Stand your ground. They sacrificed it all, and we got to make them proud because the freedom ain't free. And so that's his way of trying to earn or at least honor the sacrifice that they paid. Like I said, do what you can with what you were given and make the difference you can where you are. And for him, he's saying don't comply, stand your ground, and don't squander the freedom that we're given. Stand up for it, for the freedom for us and for our neighbors, for our fellow man. Keep this country the land of the free and the home of the brave. The powerful message from Tom MacDonald. Once again, this isn't going to be a top 40 song. It's just like a short promotional thing, just a verse in the chorus. But very good message. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this reaction, hit the like button, comment down below. Give me some recommendations on other songs you'd like to see me react to. Give me some suggestions for new artists also. I'm right now in the process of doing videos for the requests that I've received, doing those reactions. So if you put in a request for a reaction, keep watching. They are coming. And so thank you guys for watching. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you know whenever we add new content. I'm not going to say Happy Memorial Day because he specifically said not to in the song. And typically I would have said it. I said it this morning, Happy Memorial Day, but within the context of, take time to remember the fallen and to honor their sacrifice. And so, like he said, go ahead and take time for your burgers and your beers and your barbecues, but don't forget the sacrifice that was paid for us. And that is the message of Memorial Day from me and Tom MacDonald to you. And also, head over to the link in the description and support Tom MacDonald's charity for veterans if it's still up when you watch it. And do whatever you can with what you're given. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, guys. God bless.